Today I'm painting a Peryton. It is for one of my patrons, Dawn Rucker, and I'm going to show you the start to finish of how I created the base and painted this miniature. So today I will be using a 2-inch round base and some air hardening clay. I want to have the Peryton on the top of some blocks. So very simply, I'm going to add the clay to the base. And a high area just in the front. So again, I'm layering the clay. It makes it look like a nice rock formation. Simple. Take your miniature. It's roughly going to be like this. Now I'm going to wet my finger. Smooth off the edges, the rocks. Like so. And I will wait for this to dry. Once this is dried, it will come away from the base, and I will then PVA glue it back on. I will add gravel to the bottom, and then I will place the Peryton on top, and I can begin painting. I've been asked to paint the Peryton in the same colours as an African dog, so we'll be having browns, blacks and whites. So I'm going to base coat the mini in white and see what happens from there. I've got this. It's the Citadel painting tool. Now I don't normally support any of these little cheap gimmicks, or well, as I call them, cheap gimmicks, but this actually works really well. It can hold up to a 2-inch round base, 30mm round base, sorry. But for your Reaper miniatures, holds them nicely, works well. I expect it to be covered in paint by the end of the day, but you just put your miniature in. It's got a spring, like so, and all you do is you put your mini in, and it holds it in place, and it's really really firm. And this cost me £5 from Mighty Lancer Games, and to be honest, it's really quite nice. So that's a plus for Games Workshop. It's the first time I've said something nice about their stuff in a long time. Yes, very nice. Now I've given the whole miniature a undercoat and a primer. I'm going to use ink washes all over the miniature to give the feather effect. I'm going to be starting off with a soft tone, and then I'm going to work up to a brown ink, darker, and black. And this will give me 3 different variations of highlights using the ink. So I'm just adding the light ink wash now, the soft tone, and instantly all the detail comes out. So I'm just covering the whole mini. And once the mini has been covered, we'll leave this ink to dry, and we'll move on to the next stage of the brown ink with a darker ink. Now the first ink wash has dried, I'm adding a dark brown ink wash. I'm just going to go over the tops. And this one, I'm just pushing down to the third level of the feathers, and on the chest. Bottom feathers on the tail. Once that has dried, then I'll move to the black ink wash. Now I'm going to use some black ink just for doing some deep shading. I'm just going to go around the wing, under the chin, around the tail, and just along the top wings here, just to make it a little bit darker. Same again on the other side. And the base of the tail. And I also want to cover the rock, which I've already painted grey. So this will be ready for when I stick it to the base, and it will blend in nicely then. Now the next stage is dry brushing. I've added the gravel to the base and stuck the clay back on with PVA glue. Now I'm just going to give the whole thing a base coat with a grey acrylic paint. once this is being painted in grey, I'll give it 2 coats of grey paint. Then I will cover the whole of the base with black ink wash, and like I've shown you in previous videos, I will then dry brush with terminus stone, and then it'll be with green dry brushing as well. I'll give that another coat. Now I'm going to start dry brushing the rocks. I've stuck the Peryton to the base using some super glue. Just using some Terminatus stone from Games Workshop, a dry brush range, to go over the rocks, and then I'll go over with a brown ink wash, and then I'll add my green to the rocks, doing a dry brush. Using the same dry brush paint, I am going to just add a little dry brush to the wings on the edges, just to highlight. Don't need much, just on the tips of the wings, and I will also do the same on the other wing, just on the edges of the wings, makes them look more lighter, and then I'll do a very fine dry brush of white on the tops of that as well. On the top of the antlers. So I've now added the green to the base. Just add in some Agrax Earth Shade to the recesses of the base, all the lower areas. As you can see, it's coming on nicely now. All I need to do now is I will do the Peryton eyes and the claws, and I will add some flocking to the base, maybe some little shrubs, and that's all you really need to do for this miniature. Less is more on some miniatures. You can actually overdo it and make the miniature look a mess, but because of the colour scheme that they wanted for this miniature, it works well. Now for the eyes, I'm just using a little touch of dragon white, and I will just, there we go. So there's one. And there's two. I'm going to keep the eyes white. I will just add a dot of black for the pupil, and I will then cover the eye with a gloss varnish just to give a shine. So this is the finished Peryton. I have added some swamp turfs by Army Painter. I've painted the base, finished the eyes, highlighted the claws, the wings with a lighter shades of white. It's a very nice, quite happy with this little miniature. So, till next time.